Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about 5 things that make a bad English lesson and then the things you can do to make your English lessons better and more productive. So this is specifically for one-to-one conversation lessons, but you could probably use this advice in any English lesson. And the first thing that I see a lot of students do, which you definitely need to change, is not asking questions. So I have a lot of students who come into a conversation lesson with me and they don't ask questions. So this is not a conversation. Me, the teacher, asking you questions, for example, how are you? And then, where do you live? What's your job? What do you like to do? And the student not asking anything back, that is not a conversation. That's more like an interrogation, which is what, the police do if they catch you, asking you question. But conversations need to go both ways. So definitely start asking questions. If you don't, start asking questions for the sake of practicing real conversation. So, where do you live? Oh, I live, in Okinawa. It's a nice place. We have good weather. It's in the south of Japan. How about you? Where do you live? So make sure the conversation is going 2 ways. Otherwise, it's very hard work for your teacher. And it's just not a natural conversation. And when you go out into real life and you want to speak English with people, if they're the ones holding the conversation, asking the questions, they probably won't want to talk to you for very long. They're gonna find it hard work, they're gonna find it boring, and they'll probably go and talk to somebody else. So make sure to ask questions to practice having a conversation, and also ask questions when you don't understand something. I know perhaps you don't want to keep stopping the teacher, you don't want to ask them too many things, but you're probably paying your teacher, that's their job. So if you don't understand something, just stop them and say, sorry, what did you just say? Why did you use that grammar and not this grammar? Ask them questions, and then it will help the teacher to know what you need. Because, of course, teachers, we try our best to see what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are. We try to understand what you need, but it's easier if you just ask us questions. Then we know exactly what you want to learn. Number 2 thing that a lot of students do, this is similar to number 1, is not talking, just not talking. So even when I am asking lots of questions, sometimes, I ask the student, where do you live? And they say, London. Okay. Do you like London? Yes. What do you like about London? Shops. This is your chance to practice English. So, try to answer as much as you can every time. So if I say, what do you like about London? You can say, oh yeah, I really like shopping in London. I like the public transport in London. It's easy to get around, although it is a bit expensive sometimes. And try to just keep talking. This is your chance to practice. And, if you make a mistake, your teacher will help you with your mistakes, hopefully. I know I always help my students with their mistakes. So it's a good time to challenge yourself and try to say something. Even if you are not 100% sure how to say it, just try to say it, and your teacher will help you if you need their help. So yeah, make sure to talk in your conversation lessons. It's quite obvious, but I think a lot of students get nervous and they just forget to really try. And don't worry about making mistakes, because that's why you're taking a lesson. Number 3 is not listening to corrections. And again, I think a lot of students think, oh, I don't do that. I always listen to corrections. But again, sometimes because, perhaps you don't want to give your teacher too much work or something, your teacher might correct you, and sometimes students just go, oh, okay. Yeah, move. Let's do the next thing, or let's talk about something else. But you probably didn't really understand the whole reason the teacher was correcting you, which is why your teacher should be checking you understand. They should be asking questions to check that you understood what they just told you. But sometimes they might forget, or they might not do it very well. So, make sure that if your teacher corrects something for you, make sure you understood. Really good students ask me questions. When I teach them something new, I think the best students, they say, oh, so can I, for example, make this sentence? Or if I say it like in this phrase, is that okay? Like, it's really good to check like that. And then again, your teacher knows exactly what they need to teach you. So it makes it a more valuable learning experience for both of you. So yeah, that's number 3, was not listening to correction. So make sure to listen and take notes if you want to. I always take notes for my students. So if your teacher is like me, if your teacher takes notes, then make sure to read them after the lesson. If your teacher doesn't take notes for you, perhaps you can ask them to take notes, or you can make your own notes. But yeah, if you take a lesson with me, I always keep notes for you. If you want to take a lesson with me, check the link below the video to see my italki profile. Come and talk to me and I'll make lots of nice notes for you. Okay, number 4 is not being prepared. So, if you're taking a one-to-one lesson, a conversation lesson, you can do anything you want. In the past, I've taught in English schools where I teach, 15 people, 20 people. And, if there's 20 people, sorry, but we have to do what I'm prepared to teach you that day. Because there's 20 people. If I say, what do you want to do today? Perhaps everyone will have different opinions. People will want to practice different things. So we have to work with like a textbook or something, and we have to go from, A, B to Z. But when it's a one-to-one class, we can do anything that the student wants to do. So I think the students who learn the most in their lessons, they come to the lesson more prepared. They come to the class knowing what they want to practice. So, for example, they might choose a topic they want to talk about, or they might have some questions prepared. There might be some grammar or some phrases that they don't understand that they want to check the meaning of and they want to practice using. So I think those students, really do well. And, it doesn't always need to be a particular topic. Perhaps you really just want to have a conversation, but, do some study before your lesson and make sure you're ready to do what you want to do in that class, because I always ask my students, what do you want to do today? And if you tell me I want to practice this, then we can practice that, and then you're getting exactly what you want from your lesson. And then number 5, this is the last thing I want to say. Number 5, a thing that can be pretty bad situation for learning, is not having a routine. So I think it's really important to have a routine in anything in life. If you want to be an athlete, if you want to be a musician, you need to have a routine to practice these things. And language, of course, is just the same. So it's very important to have a routine, like something you do every day for studying English, and then also make your lessons part of your routine. So, take 1 lesson a week or 2 lessons a week. Like, have a routine that works for you, instead of taking a lesson, once and then 2 months later taking another lesson. And, sometimes I've had students do that, and, they come to me 2 months later, 3 months later, and say, oh, last lesson, I'm like, sorry, I don't remember last lesson. That was 3 months ago. I don't remember exactly what we did. So it's really important to keep like a routine, so you can keep working with your teacher, and your teacher knows what you're working on, what you need, and it's easier to work together if you see each other more regularly. And keep that routine between your lessons, so when you get to your lessons, again, you're prepared and you know what you want to study that day, because hopefully you've been studying a lot by yourself. So yeah, that's tip number 5. Make sure to have a routine. So there we go. That was 5 things that can cause a bad lesson, and then 5 things you need to change to make sure to have a good lesson. Like I mentioned earlier, I teach on italki, so if you'd like to come and have a conversation class or any type of lesson with me, check the link below this video. You'll see my italki profile and you can come and talk to me on there. If you'd like to listen to my podcast, which is just for listening practice, check out the link below for that as well. Or you can search Easy Natural English on any podcast app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts. Search the name of my channel and you'll find it. Anyway, thank you all very much for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time here. Also like the video if you found it useful, and comment to let me know if you have any more things that you think that students shouldn't do in lessons or that they should do in lessons. Comment below to let me know and let others know. For now, thank you all very much, and I'll see you all back here next time.